So we got a lot of live Jimmy Dore shows coming up. Go to jimmydorecomedy.com. Look for our dates. We're coming to your town soon. Hey, I wanted to show you this. So I showed you this already. This is that Pod Save America. You know there's a podcast called Pod Damn America, which I think is a great title. Oh, Pod Damn it. Anyway.
What's it about?
I haven't listened yet, but
okay.
But I like that title. So this is one of the guys from Pod Save America. These are the guys who used to work for Obama, and now they wear T-shirts while they give you corporate talking points. So they look hip. Look, we're hip. We're giving you corporate talking points and pretending we're progressive while wearing T-shirts and baseball hats. This is all bullshit, and these guys are bullshitters. And I showed you this before, and I'll play it very briefly again because I want to show you another video that shows you that they're doing this. This is how corporatists talk. So Medicare, so healthcare is a very simple idea how you fix it. Medicare for all. You know the Medicare program we have? It covers everybody 65 and older, not one person left out. It's the most popular health service program in the country, Medicare. So what you do is you just expand it to everybody. So you take it from 65 to 0. So that's it. And then that's it. That's it. No, well, you have to get a copay and you got to get this, and then you got to get a medical savings account, and then we try to get, then you shop around and you talk about it. You don't. So, but here's what they say. Well, this is what they're going to say.
There are legitimate policy arguments in favor of a Medicare access approach as opposed to a Medicare for all approach that is not ideological in the sense that it doesn't make you less liberal and it doesn't make you less progressive to view it as a positive outcome, because again, we are all going to end up paying for healthcare. The ultimate goal here is not a process one. It is not, a private healthcare plan versus a Medicare plan. If you have good insurance that you can afford, that protects you when you need it most, that gives you the option to get the preventative care that you need without bankrupt you and your family, that makes you feel safe and protected, that is the goal.
So that's a lot of words you have to do when you're trying to prop up a corporatist idea for healthcare. Right? A for-profit-based system that leaves 30 million people out and bankrupts anybody who gets sick. That's what this is. That's why you have to use all those. He goes, there's no difference between a private plan and Medicare for all if they deliver you the same thing. Yes, there's a million differences. The biggest one is the private plan doesn't pay for you when you get sick. Everybody knows that when they get sick, their insurance denies them. So Medicare doesn't. Your Medicare, you go to the doctor says you need a treatment, you go get the treatment. So this is all the work. So you see all the mental gymnastics. I've shown you this to show you all the mental gymnastics and all the gaslighting language he has to use to pretend that he's actually trying to help you. What he's trying to do is use words to try to prop up the corporation's profits. He's trying to keep that corporate money train going so he can and still look progressive. You can't do it. He's not doing it. We've called him out on that. And watch how painful it even gets more painful.
The country. Our goal is to pay for everyone's health care in a way that doesn't eat up a greater and greater share of our gross domestic product.
No, it's not.
That is the ultimate goal. The debate.
No, that's not. Again, I don't want this.
That's not the ultimate goal.
This isn't about the ultimate goal is to give everybody health care. That's the ultimate goal. It's not going to do with our GDP. But anyway.
About policy, the debate about process is a really, really important one, but it should not be always reduced to this ideological question as to whether or not you're going along with Bernie or if you're part of the neoliberals. It is more complicated and a more nuanced than that.
It's not complicated and it's not nuanced. Medicare for all. It's not complicated.
Yeah, and you know what's interesting? When you strip away all that word salad with the Romney Care dressing on it, he's really setting an extremely low bar. He's like, look, the ultimate goal, you get a checkup every year, and if something goes wrong, you don't go bankrupt. Like, no, I think we want actual quality health care for people.
Yeah.
I think we want quality health care that focuses on preventative care and that gives people a reasonable path to getting better when they do get sick.
And they don't go bankrupt when they get sick, which is what happens under the current system, and it's free at the point of service.
I don't know, Jimmy, that podcaster dude, he just said that if I could find the right insurance to cover my family, that wouldn't bankrupt me.
You're right. That's called Medicare for all. That's called Medicare. But anyway, the point of it isn't to go over that video again. I just wanted to show you, I just wanted to remind you of all the mental gymnastics people do when they want to seem cool, hip, and progressive because everybody's embracing Medicare for all. 70% of the country's for a single-payer system. So now they can't go against it and act like they're the grown-ups in the room anymore. Now they have to act like they're just reasonable. And they're not. So Amy Klobuchar is going to do the same thing. Now, I want you to remember who Amy Klobuchar is. She voted to give $80 billion to Trump for bombs that Trump didn't even ask for. That's how in the pocket she is of the military-industrial complex. And not just her, but just about everybody. So she voted for that without blinking an eye. Now this young man's going to ask her if she's for free college for people. And watch this.
In 2017, and I currently pay roughly the equivalent of my rent in student loans every month. And I have friends that graduated 6 figures in debt. Here in New Hampshire, students graduate on average with the highest average student loan debt in the nation.
36,000 or something like that.
It's absurd. And so I'd like to ask.
You would think right now she actually cares about this. Right?
She knows the number.
By watching this, she's like, oh, yeah, You'd think she actually cares. You'd be wrong.
Would you be willing to stand with my generation and end the student debt crisis by supporting free college for all? And would you include undocumented and formerly incarcerated people in that program?
Okay.
And if you could please just preface your answer with a clear yes or no, I would really appreciate that. Thank you.
So if you would please, before you give me your long BS corking points like Pod Save America, would you please just say yes or no, you're for free college at the top, and then give me your BS answer? That's what he just asked her to do. Watch what she doesn't do.
Right. Okay. Let me answer you first of all. I think we have to do everything to help our students afford.
She didn't do what he asked.
Okay, let me not answer what you asked me to answer.
Listen, look, here, the ultimate goal is that everybody gets a college education without going bankrupt. Now, being in debt for 40 years is not the same as bankruptcy. Next question.
Next question. Well, that's pretty much what she says. Watch this. What's all the mental gymnastics she's doing?
College. My idea is to make it easier to refinance. To start with your 2-year degrees, the community colleges being free. That's something that President Obama was pushing. There's a reason I'll get to why I'm starting there instead of 4-year. So I want to answer that question first for you. And let you know that I also had student loans, and when I married my husband, he had tens of thousands of student loans to make you feel better, but I married him anyway, all right? Okay, so here's what we need to do. The first thing is we need to make it easier to afford college. And you need to do that by making it easier to refinance these loans, by extending Pell Grants, so it includes more students. Those are simply grants, right? So if you extend those Pell Grants, that's going to make it even easier, because right now it's for a limited number of students, and I think we should expand it to more students. I think that we should do as much as we can with some of the other populations that you referred to. We've got to make it easier for people getting out of prison to afford going to school, you name it. But the other thing I want...
Do you hear all the mental... Do you hear how complicated she's making free college sound? Okay, what first we have to do is we have to be able to refinance your loans, make it more affordable by making it payable to refinance your loans. So she's running for president. That's why she's being asked these questions. The first primary is in January in Iowa. So do you think anybody is going to go knocking on doors for her to get people out to vote for Amy Klobuchar? And what is your program for college students? We're going to get you maybe 0.5% off your interest rate on your student loan. Come on out at 0-degree weather and work for me.
Refinancing for all.
Refinancing for all. Not free college for all. Refinancing. Refinancing? Hey, maybe I bet you don't get hit with any fees when you refinance, do you?
That's right. The second part, refinancing for all, higher interest for the banks. Vote for me.
So not free college, but refinance the stupid debt that we've burdened students with. That's her idea. Is she's trying to excite college students over refinancing their student debt. That's not a winning argument. And then she goes on to right there. And then she goes, and then Pell Grants. Right now it's limited. We got to do something with Pell Grants. We got to refinance, Pell Grants. And then with people who are in prison, we've got to have something for people who are in prison. And then we got to have something for people who get out of prison. Then we got to have something different. Free college. Just like Medicare for all. All that bullshit that guy was saying, all this and that, and the GDP and the blah, blah, blah. That's all bullshit. That's what you have to do when you're trying to please corporate masters. This is what this is called. Well, and it gets worse. Watch.
Talk about here is something, I know we're in a 4-year degree school, a great school, but you also have in Manchester a 2-year community college. And there's a lot of kids right now who are off the grid, right? They don't graduate from high school around the country, or they end up maybe barely graduating from high school.
What does that mean? You barely graduate from high. So when you go for a job, does it say barely graduated from high school, or you have a high school diploma?
And Jimmy, let me remind the viewer right now, the question had nothing to do with high school.
Had nothing to do with high school or community college or any of that. Here we go.
They accumulate debt in a 4-year college, then they end up not being able to either finish that college or they end up not being able to get a job that pays for it. So right now there are a big number of jobs that require certifications, 2-year degrees, everything from welding to technology to robotics, something big here in New Hampshire. I know Mr. Kamen with the Segway educated our whole country on robotics, and they require various degrees. So one of the things that I want to do is really have a big discussion in our country about what we do about kids that aren't graduating from high school, kids that don't get to the point of being at this great college.
This is not the question. This has nothing to do with the question. Nothing. I want to have a discussion about what we do about kids who don't graduate high school. That's not the question.
Now, I want to point out, Jimmy, that she knew she was having this town hall at this university.
Right.
And she knew somebody was going to ask her
Yep.
about access to higher education
You're right.
in the future. And this is the answer that Amy came up with.
This is her answer.
As she's
unbelievable.
announcing her campaign for president, this is what she's leading with. You got to be kidding me.
She just keeps deflecting and deflecting and deflecting. Like if she was left to keep going, eventually she'd be like, and lacrosse scholarships, we need more of them.
Yeah.
It's an underrated sport. It's a great game. She is digging a hole so deep. There are probably people in Florida right now that are just answer the question.
It is. Here we go.
And do
She
you know
dug
how
a
much-
hole all the way from New Hampshire to
How
Florida.
much a Pell Grant you can get for a semester, for a year of school? Do you
no.
know how much? Up to $6,000.
Oh, we got to expand that. That's what she would
not-
say.
Yes, as if people are only spending
I
$6,000
know.
a year on education.
I know.
Right? And how we get them into the certifications, the 2-year degrees, and make sure that we're paying for that because our economy needs that, and then go from there. So thank you for your question.
So she just said, I want to pay for 2-year schools, not 4-year schools. Why? Why wouldn't you want to pay for 4-year schools? You'll pay for 2-year community colleges, but you won't pay for 4. Why? Where'd you get the money for the 2 years, by the way? And why can't you get this same money source for the 4 years? She doesn't say any of that stuff. And I just want to remind you that she voted for the $80 billion extra to give Trump to the military-industrial complex that they didn't even ask for. Without debate, without any debate, they just, boom, you got $80 billion, you want it? But if you want to spend $80 billion on college to give people college, actually invest in our country instead of investing in killing people, then you get an answer like that goes on forever. That's total bullshit. And that's the look. See the look on her face? That's it. What else do you want? I'm a corporatist. That's that look. And watch how. So now, kudos to who's hosting this. I didn't forget who's the guy hosting this. So kudos to the host. He's going to ask her the question again because she didn't answer it. And he's going to make her answer it. And watch the kid who asked the question. Watch his face. Here we go.
He did ask you yes or no. Would you support
No.
free college for all?
I am not for free 4-year college for all. No.
So that was Don Lemon. Good for you. Good on you, Don Lemon, for keeping her on the question. These are the people you're trying to get to vote for you. That's the look that your answer gives them. And did you hear some people started to clap? I think it was probably her campaign manager. Watch this.
Thank you.
So,
Well, they might have just been clapping because it was over. We don't
The
know.
question was over?
Yeah, I think that might have been it. Like they were like, oh, she answered it directly. It's over. Thank goodness.
Jimmy, this is what Don Lemon had to say after the the town hall. I thought she did very well. I thought she was great, and she was warm. She was personal. But guess what? She's real.
A bunch of people at CNN were doing that. They were saying she's not afraid to say no.
Yes, and
So
then he
that's-
goes on and he says
so this is the
she
old-
answered the single question directly and she didn't. And if she didn't, I had to respond to it and make sure she answered it. When the young man said, hey, what about free college? She said, no, I'm not for 4-year free college. To have the nerve to say that on a 4-year college campus really takes, some gumption to be able to do that.
Well, what it actually takes is stupidity. Because you're trying to win votes and you're offering them nothing and you're calling it grown up. That's the old thing of, so they'll say she is a grown up or she's serious. So in order to be serious, considered to be serious by the establishment, you have to be willing to fuck people over. Meaning, hey, he's going to cut Social Security and Medicare. He's serious. That was Barack Obama's grand bargain. He wanted to show how serious he was. He was willing to cut Social Security and Medicare. That was his grand bargain. That's how you prove to the establishment that you're serious. And that's how you see the corporatists at CNN, the shills for the establishment at the CNN, they're saying, look, she's serious because she's willing to tell people bullshit. She's willing to speak corporate talking points that people already know are bullshit right to their faces. That's what, because if they wouldn't say that about Bernie Sanders. While Bernie Sanders says he's going to give everybody 4 years free college, that took a lot of guts for him to say because everybody's going to call him crazy now. They don't say that. They go, how's he going to pay for that? That's not that. But when someone is obviously wrong on the wrong side of the issue, but repeating a corporatist talking point, they all think she's fantastic. She's serious. She's serious. Well, how do I know she's serious? She wants to cut money to help people. That's how I know she's serious. That's how you know someone's serious in Washington. That's how the establishment knights somebody as serious, and that's what CNN just did. They just knighted her as serious because she's willing to push a bullshit neoliberal corporatist line that screws people. And right now she's saying, I'm willing to screw students. I'm willing to keep screwing students at the behest of Wall Street. Anything else?
Her campaign slogan should just be Klobuchar, I don't care, and then just a picture of that kid's sad face.
That's right.
That should be her campaign T-shirt.
Don Lemon went on to say that he believes that Klobuchar will be the dark horse in these primaries.
Oh, yeah. Again, she's exactly like the CEO of Starbucks. Who is your constituency? Who are you? People have unbelievable problems in this economy right now. 80% of workers live paycheck to paycheck. That kid in college knows he's not going to be able to afford a house till he's 50 or 60 years old. Because he's going to have to pay off his house first, which is in the form of a student loan, before he can ever go actually buy a house. That kid knows, and you're offering them nothing. The people have catastrophic problems, and she's like, "No, the status quo is we'll tinker at the edges." 3 years ago, Bernie Sanders said we needed a revolution, and half the country stood up and said yes. And here she is. Nah, we don't really. I know you guys want something nice, but life is going to suck for you for a long time. Oh, when he had thousands of debt, I'm sure school cost just as much when she went to college. How much was school when she went to college? $5 a semester? So it's the people who went to school when college was $5 a semester that they want to pull the ladder out from the rest of the people. And that's what Amy, again, I'm so happy to see her running. She's so horrible. It's going to make Bernie look so much better and Tulsi look so much better, but we got to get Tulsi on the debate stage. So right now they're trying to keep Tulsi out of the debate stage. Why? Because she's the one who speaks the strongest against our imperialism, and she speaks up the strongest against the military-industrial complex. Way stronger than Elizabeth Warren, way stronger than Bernie.
And she's a veteran.
So it grabs people. So it lands with people way more than when Bernie or Elizabeth Warren say, and that's what scares them. So they're trying to keep Tulsi out of the debates. So even if you don't plan on voting for Tulsi, it would be great to see her in the debates. And so they have the criteria to get into debates, and she has to get 65,000 individual donations. So go to Tulsi Gabbard's website and donate $5 to her, whatever. And that's worth it to me to get her. I donated more, but I would, whatever it is, donate. They don't count the amount of money you're donating. They count the number of donations. So go to Tulsi Gabbard's website and donate so we can get her in the debates and so we can see her make a clown out of this true clown, A.B. Clownachar. We're announcing our live dates for 2019. We're going to Chicago and Portland, Seattle, New York, all over the country. Go to jimmydorcomedy.com for a link for all our tickets to all our shows. It'll be right underneath there, too. Please become a patron if you like our content and help support the show. You can become a patron for $5 a month, and we give you hours of bonus material. And make sure you're subscribed. They unsubscribe people every day. I'm not kidding. Make sure you're subscribed and click that bell so they give you a notice when we drop a video. It's the only thing we can do to fight back against the bastards. Thanks for your support.